I'm Coyote Peterson. This is Zach Lim, and today we're headed out into the hills of Northern California to look for snakes. The hills of California are slithering with snakes, and if you explore the grasslands of San Mateo County, there's a good chance you will come across some of its familiar species. Yes! Many of them are non-venomous, like the gopher snake and the Santa Cruz garter snake. Then there is the venomous northern Pacific rattlesnake. Step cautiously on the trail, as their bite is incredibly toxic. Wow, okay, that's it. Northern Pacific rattlesnake right there. One thing I don't ever recommend you do is stick your hand into a hole after a rattlesnake. Today I'm headed off trail with wildlife photographer and reptile enthusiast, Zach Lim. Whew, man, it's hot out here. You deal with this all the time, huh?
All the time.
I wore a vest today. I don't know why. Totally ridiculous. So how long have you been out here hiking the hills of California looking for reptiles?
I've been doing this all my life.
So I see there's a lot of rocky outcrops up in here. You think this is a good place to search?
One of the best places.
All right, let's get looking.
Do it.
Zach's experience in these hills, his knowledge of the environment, and his ability to not only find, but also safely photograph its reptiles should put us in a great position to have an encounter with some of these slithering inhabitants. All right, what do we got here?
Well, this is a great spot to look for snakes. A lot of snakes like to thermoregulate cracks. So you can probably see a coil or a little piece of them sticking out.
Even if you were to see a snake in something like this, it would be so hard for us to actually work him out of there. Oh, that would be a really tough situation. Be like, oh, we see a snake, but we can't get to it. Knowing where to look is one of the most important aspects of finding wild animals. And sometimes, no matter how focused you keep your gaze into the shadows of rock crevices, tree nooks, and hillside grasses, having a snake startle usually happens in the flash of an eye. And if you are like me, hoping to make a safe and successful capture, you better be on the tips of your toes. Got a snake!
Oh, nice.
Ah, right up in his crevice. Yes, look at this.
What'd you get?
I got him. Ow! Ah, got bit.
Oh, we got a king snake. California king.
Look at that. Oh, jeez, getting right into that plant.
Want to be careful of that plant. That's poison oak.
Oh, that's great. Just put my hand right into it. Bit the side of my hand. Not a problem though, because this is a non-venomous species. Oh, look at that. That's the king.
Beautiful snake.
Whew. All right, well, let's get this guy up close for the cameras. How's your footing there?
I'm on a pretty steep angle. I think we need to move.
Okay, yeah, let's slide back down off the edge of this and get this snake up close for you guys. Oh man, look at how beautiful that snake is. Wow. This is it, man.
It's awesome, man.
Out here all morning, looking in the heat, and there it is, the California king snake. Now, I find, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but whenever I see a snake, you just kind of have to dive for it, especially if you know it's non-venomous, because this guy was booking. He was going straight for a crack in that rock.
They know exactly where to go. When a predator or something big's coming after them, they'll just dart back into a crack or a hole, so that's what you gotta do.
So this snake's about 2.5 feet long. Is that big, small for the king snake?
It's an adult, but they could get bigger.
Okay.
Some of them are quite large, around 3 to 4 feet long, but generally you'll find around this size.
Okay, now what are these snakes out here feeding on in the hills of California?
Well, they're called king snakes for a reason. They eat other snakes, especially rattlesnakes.
Right, and that is one thing that king snakes are most famous for, is their ability to eat rattlesnakes. Now, they're not completely immune to the venom, but they are extremely resilient. So if this snake gets into a fight with a northern Pacific rattlesnake, takes a bite or two, it's probably gonna be okay. And then of course, he's gonna eat that rattlesnake.
Exactly.
And they can eat snakes that are bigger than they are?
For the most part, yeah. They can eat fairly large prey, fairly large snakes, but they will go for something a little bit smaller, easier to tackle to be safer on them.
So it's not just other snake species that the king snake is feeding on. They'll also eat mice and voles and small lizards.
Exactly. Pretty much anything they can eat, they'll try to eat it.
That is one voracious predator right there. If you're tough enough to take down a rattlesnake, I see how you got the name king. Look at that. So you just have to handle these snakes gently, and it's completely calmed down, now just laying there in the palm of my hand. This snake is so incredibly beautiful, black and white, and I would think that it would be hard for this guy to stay hidden from predators, but I'll tell you what, with as quick as this snake took off the moment that it sensed me, I think their speed is what's protecting them against becoming a meal. Now, is this the only species of king snake that we have here in California?
In California, there's actually two species of king snakes. You have the common king snake or the California king snake here, and you also have the red, black, and white California mountain king snake.
Okay, now what time of year are those snakes out? We got any chance to find one of those today?
It's gonna be really, really tough today because it's so dry. The best time to find those are actually in springtime and when it's a bit cooler and a bit wetter out.
How rare is the mountain king snake as compared to this species?
The mountain king snake is one of the most elusive snakes to find in all of California, and it's pretty incredible to come across one.
Now, how many have you seen in your lifetime? Mountain king snakes, how many have you caught?
I've seen quite a few of them, but it takes a long time to find them. I put a lot of time in, a lot of time checking rocks, checking cracks, making sure I put everything back exactly as I found them, and only still a handful.
Well, Zach, it definitely sounds like we need to come back in the spring to see if we can find the mountain king snake, but it was awesome getting up close with this black and white beauty. Thanks so much for taking us out today into the hills of California to look for snakes. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave, stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. All right, you ready to let this little guy go?
Let's let him go.
All right, let's do it. The high heat of the California sun prevented us from finding any other reptiles. However, capturing and getting up close with the California king was one for the memory books. If you want to check out some of Zach's incredible photography, make sure to visit his Instagram account, @ZachCharge. And if you missed my last trip to the West Coast, check out the time we stumbled upon the Northern Pacific rattlesnake. And don't forget, subscribe to join me and the crew on this season of Breaking Trail.